Hey everyone, this is Arjun Rai, founder and CEO at HelloWolfie.com. Today on Content Masters, we're going to be talking about franchising, another way to run a small business. If you're looking to build a business yourself, you don't have to do everything by yourself. We're going to be talking to Janna Wilson, who's been, who's at Taxi Mom Franchise, and she's going to share some tips with you about what it means to learn more about a franchise, start a franchise, scale a franchise. But before we do that, Janna, thank you so much for being a Hello Wolfie customer. Tell us a little bit about who you are, why you're so awesome, and I'll pass over the mic to you. Or the other way. There we go.
I'm so used to how am I awesome from your weekly mastermind calls. This is
Yeah.
kind of how you enter it. So, my name is Janna. I'm awesome because I have the courage to do a whole lot of stuff. I love sales. I'm really enjoying my role as a brand warrior at Taxi Mom Franchise. But I just have an entrepreneur spirit all around. And a fun fact about me is I do stand up comedy around mental health, actually.
Ooh, that's cool. So tell us a
Yeah.
little bit more. Tell us a little bit more about why that's important to you. I mean, in startups and small business, I feel like we're all lonely individuals, especially as you're going higher and higher up the pyramid. It gets lonelier. Tell us a little bit about why mental health is really important.
Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, it does. It does get a little bit more lonely as we start to, expand and be courageous and do different things. So, I've I've been studying mental health for over 20 years, and
Mm.
it's really helped me into building teams and understanding and coming. I'm the type that gives the personality test before we start working together, find out the love language, just kind of get some of those
Oh my
things out
God.
of
I was
what's
on a
your love
I was
language?
on
Words of
a
affirmation.
Yeah, I was talking to someone the other day, and I was like, "Okay, you need to do the love language test," because she didn't know anything about it, and it completely blew her mind. So the love language test, the Enneagram test, the Aura test with human design, all about it.
Mhm. What's your love language?
Words of affirmation is my main one. I thought it would be physical touch, but physical touch is my fourth most important language. And acts of service. So, which makes sense because whenever my handy maid guy or gal comes over and those towels are perfectly aligned and put, perfectly in a straight line, I feel really excited about towels.
Nice. So yeah, so everyone out there, make sure we all tell him how awesome he is and how much we appreciate him for coming back at video responses and having content masters weekly and not
Yep.
only helping us about like what we're doing here, but just expanding like this, right? We're talking about franchise. We're not just talking about social media. So
Yep.
yeah. Oh, there
There
you
we go.
go.
This is actually what I recommend for, and by the way, this is totally related to small business marketing and small businesses underdogs, because if you don't know your love language and you don't know how you love other people, because the way you like to be loved is also how you tend to love other people, this is going to have an impact on customer relationships, going to have an impact on partnerships and whatnot. And maybe that's why I say, Jana, you're awesome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, there we go. But so yeah, go ahead, keep going. In terms of the tests you were talking about in mental health.
Yeah, I mean, just I think it's just our thoughts become our feelings, and then our feelings become our actions, and then we get a
Mm,
result. So
mm,
it's like either a positive result or not. And so I just really encourage people to slow down because some of our thoughts actually might be old data that might just need to be a little reprogrammed. So I also
mm.
do life coaching. I do a little bit of everything. My passion really is mental health and coaching and whatnot, but I have such a love for business. And when I found out about Taxi Mom franchise and how they're doing their thing, I had to
Mhm.
get some more of that.
Which I'm going to throw up on the screen now, and because I see the passion, I see the love. This is taximomfranchise.com. If anyone's looking to see an example of what a franchise even looks like, take a look at taximomfranchise.com. Jane has been with us for a few months now, I believe, as a Hello Wolfie customer. But she gives love the feedback. She always comes back with new ideas and new suggestions. But this is an example of how you can scale a business without having to do everything from scratch, right? So yeah, let's talk a little bit about what that means for an entrepreneur that's looking to get started, wants has that bug in them to do something, but they don't really have the capital or maybe the means to do everything from scratch, like get the domain, get the logo, get the legal entity, all that stuff. What does a franchise mean for someone who has absolutely no idea what that means, other than the fact that a McDonald's is an example?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yes, it's no longer burgers and fries. Um, Back in the day, that's kind of where it has
Mhm.
always been. But so, and yes, the fun part about talking about this is that I am new to selling franchises. So when I realized what they were doing and their investment is 45,000, and
Mhm.
what you do is you buy a territory of 50 schools,
Mhm.
and that's including all the private schools, and you can run. I think it's up to 10 vans in a
Mhm.
territory constantly going. And the great thing about the times right now is there's a shortage of bus drivers, right? So that's
Mhm.
really increasing the flow of the need of, I need to get my kid to school. Another one is I'm going back to work now. I need to find a way. And then another one is there. I live within 3 miles of the school now, and now
Mhm.
they've expanded it from 2 to 3 miles. So we have need after need. I mean, we literally have crying parents calling us saying, I'm about to lose my job, right? Like
Mhm.
I need a solution. So we're a subscription-based solution. We're not an Uber for children.
Mhm.
Um, no, we are not an
I
Uber.
need my kid taken out of the house right now. Take him away. It's a date night.
Yes, you can go to Hop, Skip, Drive for that. But for a long-term solution, right? It's a subscription solution. And man, Yolanda is the owner of this place. She's 17 years in business, franchising
Wow.
almost 3 now. And man, her love for these parents and families and kids. I don't have kids, right? I'm a sales girl. And so, I mean, she really you have 3 kids, she gets half off of each additional kid, no matter what school they go to, right? And
Mhm.
so she won't veer away from that, right? And she
Yeah.
committed to her franchises that she is in it for the long term. So she won't be selling Taxi Mom to anyone. So she really builds great relationships with her franchisees, and they have a trust and a know. So anywhere from the families, the communities, to the franchises, she's just, I mean, I also want to help people learn more about her. She is a
Mhm.
trailblazer. It's not just about the money with her. And so I believe that, with just buttoning up some of this franchise stuff, and then we're gonna put some campaigning out there and really push it for April, because
Mhm.
we're getting an item 19. That's a very important piece of a franchise. It shows
Mhm.
what the franchises are doing. It kind of gives the numbers. We're not really allowed to talk about that. Um,
Mhm.
but I also want to thank Arjun for, he not only on the content, he gave us feedback on our website, right? Like we didn't know that we weren't showing up properly, like on the mobile phone. And then when we did a test, like most everything's coming from mobile. So we are in the process of switching that around
Mhm.
and kind of buttoning up some of that.
Well, I appreciate that. No, that's I appreciate the love, and that's what we're here for, is to help underdogs as much as possible. And it goes beyond social media, right? It goes beyond social media, blog management, all the things that we do. And that's Jana's referring to. If you haven't joined our Friday networking calls at 12 p.m. Eastern time, it's in your dashboard if you're a Hello Woofy customer. It's just an open, forum. We almost, sometimes I pitch it as being an alcohol anonymous, like, for small business owners. Just come in and like spill, pour yourself into one another in terms of, what needs you have, what, advice you need, guidance you need, heck, even mentorship you need. And so I've definitely been on the verge of tears on several of those calls where people have appreciated, the time and valuable insights so much, because we'll literally just do a whiteboard session. And so I appreciate that. Jana, you've been joining for a few weeks now, so I appreciate that. So tell us a little bit more about your relationship with Yolanda. So she's the founder, you sell the
Mhm,
franchises.
mhm,
What does that look like for someone who's looking to get into the franchise business? And maybe it's a new franchise, maybe they're just getting started, maybe they're just opening up their first, 1 or 2 franchise locations.
mhm.
What does that relationship look like working with a founder? I mean, is it a mentee mentor relationship? Is it a business collaboration? What does that look like? So, future business owners can kind of look for that as an example.
Yeah, thanks for that. And as far as, wrapping up the weekly call that you do, I mean, that's mental health support group. Keep
Oh
coming back,
yeah.
right? I
Yeah,
keep
yeah.
coming back because I work if it works it, right? Like, so I show up because I get nuggets from even other business owners on how they're
Mm,
using the platform. So,
yeah.
okay. So as far as my relationship with Yolanda, it was very unique. She actually recruited me. And
Mm,
and I was like, I love this, this, and this, and she's like, I know, but you belong here. And I was like, all right, fine, I'll try it out. And so I tried it out. And what I really love about our relationship is she allows me to be me. And there's a
mm,
lot of me, right? Like I have a big personality. We did our personality test. I'm an aggressive entertainer, right? So, you
Woohoo!
but I also have a really love for people also, and so it's important to me that we all, come together. So she,
Mm,
man, it's so cool. She has her kids are part of her business, and
mm,
they are on point. Like I'm talking, we got Priscilla as a social media person, we got the husband
wow.
doing some stuff, we got the son. And when I first came in, I was like, because I'm into relationships, I was like, how like family and business, it's not highly
Hmm.
suggested.
Which
But
which is a pretty big topic for small business owners because those are your first hires, are your kids.
mhm.
It's a pretty interesting. I mean, that's been happening for years, right, or decades, hundreds of years. Or if you're not a kid, if you're not their kid, you are a kid and you become an apprentice.
Right, a helper, right? Or what is it? I'll give you some sweat equity on that one.
Yeah, sweat equity or an intern, but that's another conversation we can also talk about is how do you
Yeah.
actually get family involved?
Yeah, and so I mean, I'm just super blown away by the professionalism of them. They
Mm,
don't call her mom, right? That's Yolanda,
mm,
and she treats them like she would treat me. So it's like and there might be like, I think there was one that, preferred a little bit more real estate than this.
mhm,
And she is totally cool with them pursuing whatever they want. Right.
mm,
But, you can do this too. Like, cause this type of thing, once they get it to a certain point, it's just making income. So I
yeah.
just really love that, the respect that they have. And they're all really great professionals. And so I have a really good team that I'm working with for sure.
Mm. So, two things to talk about. The team side, talk a little bit about working with family. So, will that be one thing? And then also hiring. I mean, are you expanding? How did you find your next person to hire? And what are some of the things that you would share as points of wisdom for small business owners? Because again, we don't have a lot of time. We don't have a lot of energy or capital. How do we get the right hires in the door?
Yeah, that's a good question. As far as like, working with family, like they're not my family, right? I mean, this is Yolanda and her. So, I
Mm,
mean, they've been doing this for at least 17 years.
mm.
So they figured out a good, work mom balance, really.
Work mom.
Yeah, like a work mom balance. And I just love that I have professionals that are already in this. And then
Mm,
I'm like kind of steering the ship, right? They did maybe need somebody that wasn't in the family to come in and make a
yep.
splash and just kind of level it out. So I think I'm kind of a hybrid. So I call myself a brand warrior, but we're buttoning up some things before we go to
You're
market.
the
Right?
godmother.
Yes, 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 the godmother.
That's so
And
funny.
and I just love that she allows me to be me and I
Mm,
mean, she recruited me. She knew my energy. She was amazing at that. Like, and I do have that whole energy type of meditation life. And that's a big part of small business too, is just, making sure that we really do take that time to do nothing or to meditate
mhm.
and just to really step away for a minute. And I find that when I step away, do a salt bath, do some of those things, I actually get really great ideas during those times.
Mm.
So I think that I'm gonna unplug, but it's in my DNA. I love this. Like I think people that go into business and all this, I mean, it's not really work because we're enjoying what we're doing. So
Oh yeah, that's one of the reasons why I'll be up at like 12 o'clock at midnight pitching, which I did 4 days ago. And we were pitching someone across the world, and I was like 1 a.m. done, which is really funny. But no, this is really great. So let's talk a little bit more about the franchise model itself. What does that look like for someone who has absolutely no idea? Franchise sounds very fancy, but what is a franchise? Like really dumb it down to the core.
mhm,
You said $45,000 buy-in. Talk a little bit more about what does that get you?
mhm. Yeah. So so basically the 45,000 gets you the name, it gets you the back end, it gets you the support. Um, and then you buy your van, right? And then outside of that, it kind of this particular business sells itself because of the need is so great. So we even have suggest a school. So we have a list of people. For instance, we have somebody signing on. We have two more franchises signing on by the end of April,
Hmm.
and one of them is basically buying a territory where all these schools have already asked for the service, right? So we have suggest a school, and so go ahead.
So I'm just I'm taking notes here. So essentially, what you're saying is there's some sort of a buy-in for
Yep.
a franchise, and this is obviously overgeneralizing what goes into any kind of a franchise. But there's a capital buy-in that goes towards covering the costs of the franchise. There may be a vehicle involved. You get the vehicle, you have to buy the vehicle.
You buy the vehicle and you go 1 to 10 vehicles in a territory.
So you get 1 to 10. You can't go beyond that, I'm assuming. So those are the rules of Taxi Mom at this point.
We just haven't we've seen it up to 9 at this point,
Mm,
so we don't know. I mean, maybe if they just do private schools, I bet that
sure.
would probably work, yeah.
So then you get support. Now, what does support look like? Like people can call in to a centralized number and ask for help, or what does support when it may mean support comes with it?
So as far as from the franchise side, like what
Yeah.
do they get? Well, we meet monthly, so we do a think tank and we meet monthly, where we just kind of what is everyone doing in the territories? Is there some marketing that one's doing that seems to be working? Because there's zero
Mhm,
competition amongst each other. We buy territories and we just what
mhm,
I'm doing is bringing us all together so that we can just leverage everyone's skill set really. And so we have a think tank once a month, and then we have a Facebook group for the franchisees where we collaborate. And somebody has a story in their territory, they'll go out and they'll post it or do a video on it. So we're just really trying, and they hadn't done this before. They hadn't really brought the franchisees together because she's only been
mhm.
doing this, almost 3 years. So
Yeah.
what I love about shining up what's going on, like all I'm doing is putting like the finishing touches and bringing everyone together and making sure
Mm,
we have ongoing support. And then we have Taxi Mom University, which is once a week
mm.
where you can. I mean, we're actually rolling out. I'm so excited about this. We're actually we're going to give our. We've decided we're going to give our franchisees access to Hello Woofy, and that is a big
Oh.
deal to us, right? Like, and I think there's a ton of value because we kind of it is in the FDD for us to, guide them into posting on social, but it's just not
Mhm.
really happening, right? They're buying their van, they're filling their seats, they're doing other things as opposed to focusing on social media because when something's kind of working out there and the calls are coming in, it's hard
Yep.
to do social.
Yeah, tell me about it. That and also not diversifying enough. So when one thing does not start working, it just stops working for you. Have you diversified yourself, right? So one of the things that we're very proud of, as opposed to our competitors, who I know are listening in all the time, we go beyond social. We know that social is the lowest hanging fruit, but we are like, okay, the Janas of the world, the Yolandas of the world, they got to do blogging because if not, they're not getting indexed really well on Google. Then the whole game of SEO is out the door. And then along with that, we realized Google Web Stories is important, guys. If you don't know what I've been like preaching this so much right now about Google Web Stories, take a look at what Google Web Stories are. It's the new thing. It's the new way to rank really well. And then, of course, we talk about audio marketing. With Amazon Alexa speakers, we're working on polishing that up right now and getting it out the door very quickly. And the list goes on and on. So I love that you're offering this to your fellow underdogs and small business owners. I mean, we'd
Yes.
love to see how we can get more and more of the mission out to the world.
Yes, yeah. No, we're rolling it out to them on our think tank on Thursday, and I'm
Hmm.
just super thrilled. We waited a month for us to use it, kind of see how it was working for us, so I could be ready for them and their questions. So hopefully, actually, we roll it out on Thursday, and then hopefully they start joining the weekly meetings too, because it's not
Hmm.
just about this. It's so valuable to sit down with somebody like you who's just all in everything.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I would not miss that opportunity. I just want
Virtual hugs. Ow, my deadlift hands are like hurting, but
yeah,
I
words of affirmation, and I was doing the words of affirmation before. I don't know how I knew that was your love language, but no, I
yeah.
mean, so I'm just super thrilled, and I think it's a great benefit too. I mean, this is part
Mm.
of the 45K. You now get a tool, and we're actually increasing it from 10K to 45. So it was 35 at the moment, right? And then as of April, with the new FDD and the item 19 in there,
Hmm.
and with Hello Wolfie, we're upping it to 45 instead of
Just want
30.
to give Melvin a quick shout out. He says great content today, so he loves what we're talking about. And
Great.
then Francis says so true. I think he was talking about the family, the discussion around family and teamwork and whatnot. So Jana, well, so let's wrap it up really
Yeah.
quickly. Tell us your tell us a little bit more about yourself. Where I want to know what is your favorite song and why. I want to know a couple other things, but let's start with song. What's your favorite song and why?
Oh my goodness, fine. I mean, I'm just gonna say the song that I go up on stage to, and that's "I the Tiger."
Ah, karaoke.
No, when I do my stand up, that's like the
Oh,
intro
okay.
song. So dun 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 dun. So you know what? That just pumps me up. I love it. So that's how I
Yep.
get up there on stage. And then you're gonna ask me about books, and you know
Yeah.
what?
What's your favorite book? Audible or like physical paper? I've got a whole library behind me. What's your favorite book and why?
Oh my goodness. You know what? I don't know. I feel like I've spent a lot of time in self help most of
Mm-hmm.
my life, and
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I go anywhere from the Nike book to franchise books to a book called Going Sane. I mean,
Going sane.
and then
Okay.
really, to be honest with you, I'll probably be writing one soon. So I'm probably more
Ooh,
into
what are you gonna
writing
write it
one.
on? And don't tell me paper. I'm joking.
No,
What
no,
are you gonna write it? Write it.
no.
What's the topic?
Well, there mental health. It's always going to be mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Always.
Mm-hmm.
Always, always, always. There's physical health, spiritual health, and mental health. And I'm not even going to make you do squats, right? You just got to show up for yourself 1 hour per week, right? For
Mm-hmm.
at least 3 months, right? Like,
Mm.
so it's just, I actually went from survivor to thriver, if we're going to be fully transparent. And so it is my life's mission to help people be human.
Mm.
Yep.
One person, whether he or she is alive or not, that you would have dinner with if
Mark
you could choose.
Cuban.
Mark Cuban. All right.
Yes, I love him. I love him
Aw.
so much.
Well, I'll let you know when he invites me to dinner because I've been trying to reach him because he loves audio marketing, or he calls it ambient voice. I found a video
Mhm.
of him talking about Amazon Alexa skills. Almost in every investor pitch, I always show that video because if he sees that future, we're the only ones working on audio marketing. So it's very interesting. You say that, but I'll keep you posted. Last question, last but not least, I'm gonna put this back on the screen. Of the emojis, this is a ticker that we're analyzing which emojis are being used right this second. The heart is the most popular right now. But which of these emojis that you see on the screen are your favorite, or is your favorite?
Rocket. Let's go
Which
for
one?
the rocket. Let's go for the fire. And let's freaking explode some shit right there. It
There
can
we go.
explode. Yeah, there you
There we
go.
go. Awesome. Those are your
Dang.
favorite. Those are your favorite ones right
Is it,
there.
at least right this second. I guess that's what came out to me for sure.
Well, Jana, thank you so much for your
No,
time. I really appreciate it. I know we had to reschedule this once before, but
no problem.
you are an example of someone that we can look up to. Small business owners, entrepreneurs. Even if you work at a franchise, or you work at a startup, or a small business like yourself, it's all about putting in the grit, putting in the effort, and making time for other people. So I appreciate you putting the effort here and making time for us. Thank you so much. Virtual hugs from New York City, Jana.
All right, from Dallas, Texas.
Woohoo! All right, take care.